This video is intended to give an overview of the Verbingo translation management system. I'm trying to use just slides here to make sure you get the message, so you can go back and watch this video and not have to listen. Maybe you can just skim through it. The main points I want to make is that for various tasks, this tool can perform depending on what you need. So I'm going to try and address the different needs that a worldwide company might need in globalizing, especially if there are international offices that want to do different tasks for different reasons. The key of Verbingo is the dashboard, and the dashboard is it's an HTML page that we allow clients to manage their translation memory, essentially. You can see here the dashboard is access, and essentially these 4 or 5 items here are what you do at the dashboard. Now there are certain things you don't do in the dashboard, but this is what you do mainly. That you track your status. You use it as a gateway for initiating translation projects and for retrieving translation projects. You use it as a tool for managing centralized terminology and centralized translation memory. Now, important note, a couple things you do not do in the dashboard, that is translation and review. They are not performed in the dashboard, they take place in the Facebook editor. We do this for security reasons, for login reasons, and so that we can have a centralized place where only key team members access your translation memory. So let's explore, how do I use the dashboard then? Well, what exactly do you want to do is the first question. Are you a translator? Are you a desktop publisher? Are you a reviewer? What are you? Let's go through some possibilities. In fact, let me give you, let me go here to the dashboard. This is the Franklin Covey dashboard. I've already logged in. There is a login for this, and one login gets you right here to these 6 panels. I've decorated them, and this can be changed, and we are updating the interface here, but for now it works pretty well. You can see, we'll go through each of these panels, but let's say that you just want to get something translated to begin with. Well, Verbingo is perfect then for InDesign and certain other formats. I want to focus just on InDesign, but you have to remember you can't just throw anything into this tool. It has to be controlled and managed, and only certain formats are allowed. Let's just focus on InDesign, and since Franklin Covey does a lot of InDesign, I think this is where this is okay. You can initiate a project whenever you wish. You simply log into the dashboard and click the Materials tab. Now again, we're logged in, and you can get the instructions for logging in, and then you click the Materials tab, and then we walk you through a set of just the process here. I'm not going to go through that, but you can watch the other tutorial. You can do this anytime you want. You just click on InDesign IDML, and you'll have to learn what that means by watching the other tutorial, and then you walk through a process of selecting your file and your language pair, and then you're off and running. That can be done at any time by anybody who has a login to this dashboard. So like I said, there's a tutorial for that, and you can watch that separately. What if you just might want to translate? I don't know, but maybe. How do I even know? Well, not a problem. Again, before any project is initiated, it is analyzed so that you can make a good choice. And flipping back here, I went to the Materials tab. I'm not going to go through it again, but once you go through this process of selecting a file in your language pair, you do continue, and what happens is it performs a scan. And the scan gives you a report, and this report then reflects a count of words, duplicate segments, and matching segments. What this means is you can then make choices about how many words there are to translate, how much leveraging am I getting from the translation memory, is it worth it, do I want to do it now, maybe do it later, etc., etc. And again, we have a special tutorial for that you can watch. So let's say you are convinced you want to translate. You've got your report. Now you've loaded the job even, and you've done that yourself through the Materials tab. Now what? Well, it's at this point that a Verbatim Solutions team member joins the process and is responsible for assigning the work. We then step in. This is how we manage the throughput in our tool, and we know how much is being translated and stored, etc. So at this point you have to let us know what you want to do. Do you want to assign yourself as a translator? Do you want to assign your own translation team, or do you want to assign members of our 5-star translation team? Flipping back here, then that task actually happens here in the Projects tab. And once you bring up your project, let's say here are a bunch of projects, but let's say you have a brand new project loaded and it's at 0%, and here's your word count and language pair. Here is where you would then assign, and we have various options for assigning, such as the crowd or machine translation, which is not what you want in this case, but you have then the verbatim PM, and by clicking down there you see the options. And this is where we are notified when you make that assignment, but we need to know through regular channels that you want to even translate that project, so that we will take it seriously and get it initiated right away. Moving on, and how are projects translated? Well, again, they are translated in a Facebook editor, and here's a small screenshot of that. There are plenty of videos that show the Facebook editor. And individuals log in with their own Facebook username. We do that again to protect, we don't want just any translator working in the dashboard. Same thing with reviewers. How are projects reviewed? Well, again, that happens in the Facebook editor as well. So again, everything's protected. The dashboard is only accessible by certain members of the centralized team, and it's important to keep that separate and distinct. So next, after a project is translated and reviewed using the process so far, what if I want to do my own DTP? Well, that's fine. No problem, because when a project is 100% complete and the reviews are done, then you can retrieve the text yourself. And to do that, you simply click the Materials tab and follow the same process as you would for initiating a project. So flipping over here, you would simply go to the Materials Project tab, click on it, and do InDesign, and and you would first of all you would check the project's status to make sure that your project is 100%. And that shows up here in the status. You'd say, okay, this is the project that I want to finish, and then you would go to the Materials tab, click on the InDesign option again, and then run the report. The report will show 100% if according to what the Project tab showed. Then you would follow the instructions for retrieving your translation, and then the material or the file that is spit out is essentially an InDesign file ready to be opened and formatted. Now, there are several issues, or not several issues, but there are nuances and things to know about doing your own DTP through, by extracting the text manually yourself. So please, we ask you to watch the tutorial on that that we provide, so that you know what you're getting. But it does work very well, and we have several clients who like to use this process. If I don't want to do the DTP, well, no problem. Verbingo Solutions is ready to help, and we will provide desktop publishers in any language to help with this process. One of the key elements of Verbingo is that the desktop publisher must be fluent in the native language, because there are issues that InDesign creates that need to be resolved by a native speaker. The other two things I want to go over here with terminology management, or with Verbingo real quickly, is terminology management, where you can determine by using this tab here. You click on the Terms tab, and then you have, using this tool, I'm not going to go over it, but again, you can watch the tutorial, to determine and translate the most important terms. And this is key. I've made several videos on that, because every term that you put into this list will appear highlighted whenever it occurs in the source. And so whenever a translator sees that term in English, the highlighted translation will appear, and he or she will know exactly how the translation should be. And this ensures consistency and is one of the most important features of the entire translation management system. Again, we do that for our customers, and we are more than happy to do that for you, but we just need your guidance and help in what you want us to do. The last thing is translation memory management. This is simply where you access all of your translations, and it's a good tool for spot checking and error fixing. I'm going to flip over to it now in the dashboard. It's this tab down here, the current TM. Here you can go in, and with a simple search tool, you can go through and look for things that may be important to fix, or just maybe key terms. For example, if I want to look up rocks, I will find every single occurrence of the word rocks. We are improving this editor to make things easier to work with and see and spot and whatnot, but this is a really good place to make sure consistency takes place. But again, this is not for translation, and it's not good for translators to be in here. This is a centralized person who understands your terminology and can manage that well. So the other two tabs over here, I don't want to really go over. They're not quite finished, so please don't. This one, Legacy TM, is just for uploading old translation memories, so that's easy. There's nothing major there. But the review tab isn't quite figured out or fixed yet, so please ignore that. But otherwise, that is the general overview and of the dashboard. I hope it makes sense, and I'm sorry for the long video, but please let us know if you have any questions. Please watch our other videos so you can understand how this all works together with the Facebook editor, etc. And we thank you for watching.